Federal prosecutors want to hear from anybody who has any information at all about Jeffrey Epstein and the people who hung around Jeffrey Epstein, which may involve 2 U.S. presidents. More on that in just a little bit. This case is about a scheme to traffic young women or girls for sex. They were conned, they were manipulated, they were even raped. That is what federal prosecutors allege. And listen to how serious they are in their efforts to find out what really happened to these victims. They are asking tonight anybody who's listening to the sound of my voice, who flew on the Lolita Express, yes, that's the name given to Epstein's private jet, to contact the FBI immediately. Here's the message, in fact, that prosecutors and those tied to the investigation are sending to those men. Quote, "You would much rather be visiting the Department of Justice and engaging a conversation about what you saw rather than making the DOJ find you. And tell us what you know before we find out what you know." Wow. Not everyone who traveled on the Lolita Express hung around with Epstein or visited his homes in Florida and New York is a suspect, by the way. We should make that clear. But the list is impressive, and it may be the focus of a federal investigation. Here it is. President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Hollywood stars Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker. Billionaire sports owner Ron Burkle. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. Famed O.J. Simpson lawyer Alan Dershowitz. Renowned author and psychologist Steven Pinker. Also appearing in the media reports is top model Naomi Campbell. You see them there. We gave them to you from left to right, in that order. Now, let's talk about this. As for Presidents Clinton and Trump, both men are now trying to distance themselves from Epstein. But it may not be that easy, because like way too many stories in our country right now, everybody seems to see these stories through the prism of their politics. So let me simply share with you what we know from what is being reported about both of these men. Let's start with Mr. Clinton. He says that he cut off contact with Mr. Epstein years ago and only flew on his plane 4 times. That's his official response. However, that does not reconcile with the flight logs collected by both the Daily Beast and Gawker that shows that Mr. Clinton was on 26 international flights and 1 domestic flight between Miami and New York. What gives? Now, like Mr. Clinton, Mr. Trump is also saying today that he cut off all ties with Mr. Epstein, and even added today in an interview with Fox News that he wasn't a fan of Mr. Epstein. But in fact, when asked to vouch for Mr. Epstein in an article for New York Magazine, and this is back in 2002, Mr. Trump said, and we quote, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."